Hey guys, it's Clarissa again from Lily Bows of Denver. Wanted to do a quick tutorial for you on how to add lace to a hair bow. So this is a little cute thing that I made this week, and if you can see here in between the layers is this really pretty layer of lace, and also I put it on sometimes at an angle here from the back. So I'm going to show you how to do both of those different additions to your hair bows, and let's get started. So you can find lace on a roll like this from Hobby Lobby. It's pretty cheap. It's $2.99 and you get like 9 feet of it, so like 3 yards. And then it's called decorative trim. They put it on sale, I think a half off sale every couple of weeks, so you can get it fairly cheap, and it lasts a long time. So what you're gonna do, and this is the style of lace that I use, and it has that really pretty scalloped edge, and then it has a threaded edge here at the end. What we're going to do to start, and you're going to do the same technique for both different addings on the bow. So you're just going to trim a piece off. I usually don't measure it before I trim. I usually go by the scallop. So for this size of bow, and that's a 4.5 inch boutique bow, it also works for a 5.5 inch and a 6 inch, the same piece of lace. So let me show you what I do. We take the edge here. Okay, let me flip it around. And take your edge of lace, and I cut it at a slight angle before I start to trim. I try to find an edge of a scallop here. I usually trim right here in between this small scallop and this larger scallop. I usually trim right down here, and so you'll see we'll start cutting from the bottom actually, and we'll go up at an angle and kind of round it out a little bit. That helps with the shape at the end. And just kind of curve it and cut that piece off. You can throw that away. And then you're going to do the same thing. And so I count 3 scallops over. 2, 3. And then I usually cut right in between this little one and this large one. So right in that crease right there, you're going to see me cut again at an angle coming down. Same rounded edge. If you're a perfectionist, I guess you could fold it over and match, you know, the same cuts, but it's going in between the layers, so I don't really try too hard on that one. So let's trim that and kind of angle it up and round it out at the end. So you're going to end up with a piece that looks just like this. Now on the base of this, you're going to top off this threaded piece. That's nice if you were going to sew it onto something, but for what we're doing, we don't need that on there. And actually we need a little bit of this trimmed away. So you get a nice flat piece after you trim off this bottom, because this bottom piece is what makes it tighten up and curve. So you're going to trim that off. Make sure you have your angled sides here, and you can either use this by itself, just a single piece, and what you would end up doing is just bunching it at the bottom. But what I like to do is I like to double mine, so it gives it a little bit more color when you're taking your photos, and then you also use 2 pieces when you're making this. So I'm going to cut a second piece real quick. Okay, so I have both pieces all trimmed up and ready to go, and then I also threaded a needle. You can use a smaller needle. I just use the embroidery one because that's the one I can find because it's huge. So I threaded my needle with fishing line, and I like fishing line because it doesn't break, so it's pretty sturdy. If you wanted to, you could use thread, but for me, I like fishing line on these. And then you're going to pick one up and you're going to pinch, and I usually like to kind of follow that same line here in between the scallops on these smaller ones. I'll pinch right there. So we'll fold, pinch, hold, and then fold, pinch again, kind of fold it down, and I did like 3 folds there. So if you can see that, let's see. Do it once, and then you fold it again, twice, and then 3, and then you just kind of hold it together and hold that center. Okay, and if you are able to, you can either clip this and set it aside while you fold the other one, or you can just do the same thing and just fold it 3 times real quick. Okay, so we've got them both folded. Okay, and then you're just going to set them one on top of the other. It doesn't really matter which one, but you're going to hold them from here. It's very easy. You're just going to take your threaded needle and you're just going to go through the center of those 2 folds and push kind of hard. You can use the table to kind of help push it through. And if you have to, you can use pliers to pull it too, but I usually just pull it with my hands. So you're just going to pull and then repeat. So you're going to go backwards and stitch it. So it's a basic stitch back and forth just to kind of stabilize it. Oops, I hit the camera. Okay, so you're going to go back and forth and sew them together, like hand stitch them together. So, and then you'll finish it off and tie a knot. So let me go ahead and... Okay, so we have our two pieces stitched together now. They're kind of loosely stitched in the middle, so these are still very flexible. And then I tied them with a knot there, I don't know if you can see it, and then I trimmed up the threads with my scissors so that they're not sticking out. And then from here, what you would end up doing is you would end up fixing it however you want to arrange it on the center of your spikes. Obviously you would add it to your bow like that and glue it down. And you can do it under the layers here, like under your boutique bow or under your surrounding bows. I did it on this one under my surrounding bows. But basically you would add glue to the center of your bow and then press this down and kind of arrange your lace how you wanted it to lay. I find that if you kind of spread it out like this, it kind of sets nicely, and then you just press it in and it would attach to your spikes really well. The other way that you can do this is you can actually do this really cool with two different colors of lace, and once it's stitched, then you just fold one to the back and then you have two different lace. So you would add it in between your layers here. You can either use a piece of felt in between there, or you can just put some hot glue in here and tuck it in. And that's what I usually do. I tuck it in and then I'll press the boutique bow to hold it and turn it up, and then you can see it added like that on the back of the bow. But it looks really cool if you have like two different colors. If I was going to add lace to this bow, then I would probably pick like hot pink and maybe some green and do one of each, a piece of each of those, and then it would add two different colors of lace to the back like this. Okay, otherwise you can use the same color or even two colors and add it under your layers here or all the way on the back. Either way, it's a fun way to add another dimension to the hair bows we're already making. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Be sure to check out Mommy Crafts a Lot on Facebook, as well as the Ribbon Rock Stars and Lily Bows of Denver.